how to knit an easy heart pattern. Hi guys, I'm Kristen, and today we are knitting up this very simple knit and purl heart pattern. I am creating mine in cotton. They make great gifts, dishcloths or washcloths, great for Valentine's Day. I've also used this heart pattern to knit up a baby blanket. You can get really creative making squares of different colors and just piecing them together. It's so sweet. So today I will show you how we knit this up. For the knitting pattern, you will need to go over to my website. I have it listed directly on my website for free. If you'd like the printed PDF, it is available on my Knit Stitch pattern book, which you can purchase over on Etsy. You also might want to save this project to Pinterest, and I will have a link to that and everything I'm talking about today in the description below. And if you're excited to knit up your heart pattern, do me a favor, please hit like. It really helps me out. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Before we get started, if you would like to check out more heart patterns, I have some great ones. I just put out a cable heart pattern that I have seen so many great pictures of the work that you guys have been doing. It's a really fun pattern, especially if you enjoy knitting up cables. I also have a lace pattern available for you. And for more heart-shaped Valentines, we have these little puffies that I stuffed with lavender. These make great gifts. Also a heart-shaped pillow, these little heart decorations made out of I-cords, and even a little knitting-inspired cupcake topper. Okay, for our materials, I am using cotton yarn. For knit stitch patterns, you can use any size yarn and knitting needles that you'd like. I wanted to do dishcloths. So this is worsted weighted yarn. I'm using size 7 needles, of course, scissors and a tapestry needle. And just to show you that with the yarn and needles that I used, this knit up about 7 inches in width and 6 inches in height. And let's take a close look at the right side of our work. You see that stockinette base with the heart kind of pulling out from that. And on the wrong side, you still see the heart pattern. It's just reversed. So let's knit it up. We are going to begin with our beloved slip knot. And for this pattern, we are going to be casting on using the long tail cast on method. I have all the techniques down in the description below for you. And we're casting on a total of 31 stitches. So once you have 31 stitches, you're ready to knit, and rows 1 through 4 are just the garter edge, and this is knitting from the bottom up. So we have our garter edge. This is just one row right here, and once we have all 4 rows of our garter edge, then you want to make sure you have the pattern on hand. And I just want to give you a quick overview so you can see exactly how this knits up. So for the garter edge and the stockinette base, every 4 stitches in the beginning and the end are always going to be the knit stitch. And you'll see this written out directly on the pattern, of course. I just want to give you an overview so you can see exactly how it knits up before you get started. And with the stockinette base, that means that we are going to be purling all the way across here on every other row of this section of the pattern. And here you can see that after you finish up those purls, the last 4 stitches are always going to be the knit stitch, and that gives us that garter edge on the sides. And because it's a stockinette base, this is going to help your piece not curl up on itself. I always like having a little garter edge or some sort of edge with a stockinette pattern so that it doesn't roll up on you. So here's how it's shaping up. And once we're finished with row 9, we are ready to jump right into the heart pattern. Again, we're knitting from the bottom up. So after we knit 15 stitches, the very beginning of the heart pattern is the bottom little point of the heart. And so you just do one little purl right there on stitch 16, and then you just carry on. And let me kind of show you exactly how this is going to be looking as we knit it up. And on the next row, row 11, we're continuing this little pointed section, and we are going to then knit 3 stitches to carry the pattern up of our hearts. And once we've completed row 13, this is how the bottom portion of our little heart is starting to take shape right here. And now 17 rows in, here is our heart. It's becoming much more distinctive and it's growing. This is what it's looking like on the wrong side of our work, on the back side of the work. And you can see it right here. This is what it's looking like after we do sort of the edges of the heart. And I wanted to point out on row 24, you're going to begin the 2 humps of the heart. You definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention, so you're doing that 1 knit stitch and continuing on with the pattern so that the little humps appear. And then after you have completed knitting up the heart section, then we just do another garter edge with stockinette base, and we finish up with a garter edge, which of course is just knitting 4 rows. And once you have completed that, it is time to bind off. And let's finish it up by cutting our yarn and threading it through our tapestry needle. And we're just going to finish it right here and then weave in our ends and cut off our yarn tail. So here's our heart when you're done, and it does lie flat, although the shape can look maybe just a little wonky, and we can make it perfect by blocking. So I just want to show you quickly that I am placing my square on my blocking mat, and I'm just going to pin it right into shape, and using my water bottle, I'm going to wet it and then place a wet cloth on top of it. I'm not going to steam it, I could, but I'm just going to let it sit overnight. And once it's dry, it is this absolute perfectly shaped flat piece of knitting that just is really beautiful. I hope you are inspired to knit up your own easy heart pattern. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!